Welcome back to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, CEO of academia.edu, and today we're unpacking a super intriguing, maybe even like heart-glowing topic. It's all about SOULMANCE. The paper we're discussing is by David G. Little, who, by the way, also goes by Swami Munamuti Saraswati. Pretty cool name, right? But before we start, please remember I'm exploring this paper neutrally, just walking through what's in it, not giving a stamp of approval or saying it's the final word on the subject. So what's this paper really digging into? Well, the heart of it is this new literary term, soulmance, not romance, and not just spiritual non-fiction. Soulmance, it's one of those words that sort of rolls around in your head for a bit. And the main question the paper tackles is, how do we describe stories, fiction or otherwise, that don't just focus on people falling in love, but actually use love, friendship, or spiritual bonds as catalysts for transformation? Kind of makes you wonder, how often do you read something and think, hey, this is changing how I see myself or the world? That's the zone SOULMANCE wants to live in. Why does this matter for you? Or, somebody who picks up a book or scrolls through stories. Well, the thing is, language evolves because we keep bumping into new kinds of experiences that need new words. If you've ever read a book that left you thinking about your own growth, maybe a friendship that challenged how you view things, or a romance that's as much about self-discovery as it is about passion, then soulmance, as a word, might actually help you explain what you felt. Let's recap what David G. Little's paper says, just in clear, digestible bites. First, soulmance is defined as a subgenre, like a special neighborhood of literature where love or deep connections spark some kind of soul transformation. This could be romantic, absolutely, but also friendship, or even a bond that feels mystical or, kind of out of this world. It's more than just swooning or sharing jokes over coffee. The real deal is how those relationships help people grow internally, maybe pushing them toward new awareness or spiritual awakening. A fun detail, just to keep things straight. The term soulmance was actually coined pretty recently by Mukata Dangi in 2025. Now, I know somebody listening right now is probably thinking, hey, it's not even 2025 yet. But this is what's in the paper. I'm just reporting the story as it's told. Anyway, David G. Little really credits Dangi for coming up with the word and for creating what's called spiritual feminist literature. So, academic ideas don't pop up out of nowhere. They build on each other. The paper emphasizes that soulmance is gaining traction because, modern readers are looking for more than just basic love stories. There's a hunger for narratives that blend intimacy and spiritual ascent. Yeah, those are the paper's words. It's this combo of heart and soul, and in a lot of ways it aligns with spiritual teachings like in yoga or mindfulness, where relationships are about waking up to yourself. You see how these literary trends echo bigger questions about why we connect with people at all. Here's a quick example from the paper. Somebody might say, her novel is a moving work of soulmance, where friendship and destiny awaken the deepest self. Doesn't that just immediately conjure up a sense of, journeys that are both inward and outward? It feels different from just romance or just a friendship tale. It's like there's another layer, a kind of spiritual fertilizer that makes things grow faster. Or, that's not exactly poetic, but you get what I mean. Oh, and tangent incoming. Do you ever think about how, if we had all the right words right away, maybe we'd spend less time explaining ourselves to each other? Or maybe we'd have fewer misunderstandings? That's never really possible, is it? Language just kind of chases after experience, sometimes a little out of breath. Anyway, back to soulmance. The last thing the paper points out is how soulmance fits right into a bigger wave of spiritual writing. It's meeting people where they are, folks who want stories that speak to emotional and spiritual transformation. So, what does this mean for you, the listener? Maybe you'll start noticing books or even movies that fit this label, stories that make you reevaluate yourself or stir up some kind of longing for inner growth. Maybe you'll even use soulmance as a shorthand to recommend something life-changing to a friend. Just remember, I'm not saying this is the ultimate genre-defining moment or that everyone needs to embrace soulmance overnight. Academic research, including this paper by David G. Little, is about offering new perspectives not delivering absolute truth. Always good to keep your critical hat on, yeah? So that's our journey for today. Thanks for joining me as we unraveled a little of what soulmance means, where it came from, and why it might matter in your reading and maybe even your life. I'm Richard Price. See you next time on In Depth with Academia.